Namaste, I'm Dr. Mojin. Welcome you all to the session where we'll be discussing more about Pancha Mahabhuta Siddhanta. Today we are going to learn one of the most important foundation in Ayurveda. Before understanding disease, before understanding treatment, before understanding oils, before understanding Panchakarma, it is very important to understand the basics Ayurveda, which is Pancha Mahabhuta. Let's start the session with a small prayer. Om Namami Dhanvantari Adidevam Surasurai Vandita Pada Padmam Loge Jararuk Bhaya Mrityunasham Dada Ramesham Vividaushadinam. Yeah, so we must first understand what exactly the body made up of. Modern science explains the body through cells, tissues, atoms, and molecules. Ayurveda explains the body differently. Ayurveda says whatever exists in the universe also exists inside the human body. The principle called Logapurusha Samanya. You might have heard this. The outer universe and the inner universe follow the same law. Outside, we see sun, river, wind, mountain, space. Inside the body, we also see heat, fluid, movement, structure, cavities. So Ayurveda explains that everything in the universe is formed from five fundamental elements called Pancha Mahabhutas, which is Akasha, space, Vayu, air, Agni, fire, Jala, water, Prithvi, earth. These five elements are present in food, medicine, body, mind, season, diseases. Even emotion can be understood through these elements. For example, anger has fire quality, fear has air quality, attachment has water and earth quality. So Panchamahabhuta is not merely theory, it is the foundation of Ayurvedic thinking. Definition and the basic understanding of Panchamahabhuta. Now let us understand the meaning of word Panchamahabhuta. Pancha means five, Maha means great, and Bhuta means fundamental elements. So Panchamahabhuta means the five great fundamental elements that formed all matters in the universe. These are not exactly the same as modern physical elements. For example, when Ayurveda says fire, it does not mean only visible fire. It means the principle of transformation. Similarly, water means liquidity and cohesion. Air means movement. Earth means structure. Space means accommodation. Another important point, these elements are not separate from each other. Every substance contains all five elements, but one or two elements may dominate. For example, a stone has a stone has more earth element, oil has more water element, spices have more fire elements. Similarly, I'll repeat again. For example, a stone has more earth element, oil has more water element, spices have more fire element. Similarly, different tissues in the body also shows dominance of different elements. Bones have more earth, blood has more water and fire, nervous system has more air and space. One more important concept, Ayurveda does not see the body as a specific static structure. The body is constantly changing, interacting with nature. The food we eat, the the climate we live in, the seasons, our emotions, our lifestyle, all influences the balance of these five elements. Let's start with the first one, Akasha Mahabhuta, which is one of the important and very much less visible factor in these five elements. We begin with the first element, Akasha. Akasha means space or ether. It's the subtlest among the all elements. Without space, nothing can exist. Suppose we went to a building, a hospital, first we need is space. Similarly, inside the body, space is essential for all functions. Where do we see Akasha in the body? Can anybody can guess it? It's very simple. I will help you. Mouth cavity, nostrils, thorax, abdomen, blood vessels, space between cells, channels. Does it make sense? I'll repeat it again. Mouth cavity, inside mouth there is space. Nostrils, inside each nostrils you have got space. Thoracic region, there is lungs in there. There is space between each organs. And abdomen, you have got stomach. Inside there is space. Inside, in between organs, there is space. Blood vessels, in between the blood vessels, there are space. And cells, channels. So Akasha provides room for movements and functions. It means quality are subtle, light, clear, and expansive. I will repeat it again. The quality of Akasha provides, Akasha Mahabhuta is subtle, light, clear, and expansive. Now think practically. Food moves in the intestine because there is space. Blood flows because vessels have space. Breathing occurs because lungs have space. Now clinically, when channels become blocked, space reduces, right? Yeah. When space reduces, movement also reduces. This leads to disease. Excess Akasha may produce emptiness, tissue depletion, loneliness, instability. Yeah. There's a problem with Akasha also sometimes. This leads to diseases. Excess Akasha may produce emptiness, tissue depletion, loneliness, and instability. Modern life itself increases Akasha too much. Too much of isolation, too much of virtual interaction, too much of detachment from physical activities can increase feeling of emptiness. Yes. So remember, Akasha provides accommodation. Vayu Mahabhuta is the next one which comes after Akasha Mahabhuta. So I will revise it again. We have 5 elements: Akasha, Vayu, Agni, water, Jala, water is Jala, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi, right? So again, I will repeat again. Akasha Mahabhuta is space. Next is our Vayu Mahabhuta. So what is Vayu basically? We all know in simple words, it's air which moves, which has movement, which is unstable, which cannot be kept in one place, which cannot be closed in a lid. Yeah. If Akasha provides space, Vayu creates movement inside the space. Vayu means air. But in Ayurveda, Vayu represents the principle of movement. Every movement in the body happens because of Vayu. Example, breathing, blinking, heartbeat, circulation, a movement of food, speech, movement of thoughts. Yeah, it is also involved in that. One important Ayurvedic statement: whenever there is movement, there is Vayu. Make sense? Yes. Whenever there is movement, there is Vayu. So what are the qualities of Vayu? Vayu is generally dry, light, cold, mobile, and rough. Now think clinically. When Vayu increases, what can possibly increase? You can guess. Yeah. Dryness can increase. Instability increases. Movement becomes irregular. Symptoms appear such as pain, tremor, cracking joints, constipation, anxiety, insomnia. Pain, tremor, cracking joints, constipation, anxiety, insomnia. Why is pain mainly in vata? Why pain is mainly in vata? Because pain moves and fluctuates. Now think of old age. Why do elderly people commonly get dryness, cracking joints, and constipation? Because vayu naturally increases with age. Traveling too much, sleep deprivation, stress, irregular food habit, fasting all aggravates vayu. This is why modern lifestyle commonly produces vata disorders, which is linked to vayu mahabhuta. We will discuss more about tridoshas, vata, pitta, and kapha in continuation. But as basic, we have to finish understanding Pancha Mahabhuta first. Then we can go to the next level where we will be discussing more about tridoshas. And since we have discussed more about Akasha and Vayu, another factor which is very much important and very much day-to-day life thing, which is Agni Mahabhuta. Agni means fire. Simple. Agni represents transformation. Food becomes energy because of Agni. Thoughts become understanding because of Agni. So Agni is responsible for digestion, metabolism, body temperature, vision, complexion, intelligence. Make sense? I'll repeat it again. Digestion, metabolism, body temperature, vision, complexion, and intelligence. Its qualities are hot, sharp, penetrating, and subtle. Now, if we see clinically, when Agni increases, what are the symptoms we see? Burning sensation, right? Acidity, ulcer, redness, excessive hunger. First, if fire is essential for life, but excessive fire destroys tissues also, and this is also very important. So sometimes when we have excessive of akasha, we get some kind of issues with tissue expansion and some kind of muscle wasting issues. And when it comes to vata, there is pain issues and depression issues and all these physical and emotional issues. When it comes to fire, fire is essential for life, but excessive fire destroys tissue. Weak fire causes poor digestion. Strong and uncontrolled fire causes inflammation. So balanced Agni maintains the health, basically. That is why Ayurveda gives huge importance to Agni. Now think about modern lifestyle. Excess spicy food, anger, competition, late night work, constant screen exposure, all increases the fire element. Such people may become irritable, can you relate? Impatient, anger, and hyperacidic. Even emotionally, fire shows as intensity. Now we will discuss about Jala Mahabhuta, the fourth one. Jala means water. Water provides lubrication, smoothness, softness, and cohesion. Imagine the body without water. Immediately dryness develops, right? Can you imagine a body without water? So Jala is present in plasmas, salivas, lymph, sweat, synovial fluid. Where is it present? Plasma, saliva, lymph, sweat, and synovial fluid. You know all these things, right? Yeah. The qualities of jala are cool, smooth, soft, oily, and flowing. Cool, smooth, soft, oily, and flowing. That's what is water look like basically, right? When jala decreases in your body, what could be possible conditions it can cause? So let's say excessive vayu can cause dryness. Excessive vayu means when there is less amount of water also in your body. So first thing, dryness may cause, and dehydration, roughness, right? So when jala increases in your body, that's also very important. When jala is excessive water is inside your body, it's also very important. You will see swelling, edema, congestion, and many issues like lymphatic swelling. Water also give emotional softness. People with dominant water quality are often calm and emotional. Attachments and emotional bonding are strongly related to water and earth element. Excess emotional dependency can also be viewed as excessive jala quality. We go to the next one, Prithvi, the fifth one. Finally, when we speak about Prithvi, we can actually relate because it's all visible. Yeah, it was visible in fire and water also, but here it is more solid. We can see more things, more structured things. So what is the basic things earth provide? Structure, stability, density, and firmness. Can you relate? Bones, muscles, teeth, nails, cartilages, all shows earth dominance. And it's very important to know the quality of earth. So as we know, earth is solid, so it will be heavy, and it will be dense, it will be hard, it will be stable, and it will be slow. Yeah. When earth increases, obesity, heaviness, sluggishness, and heaviness are seen generally. And when earth decreases in your earth element decreases in your body, what do you see? Weakness, instability, tissue depletion. Earth gives grounding. People with strong earth quality are usually stable and calm. But excess earth may make a person resistant to change, lazy, or overlay attachment to comforts. So even personality can be understood through Mahabhutas. So let's recap, and we'll go through with each bhutas once again. As we know, we have 5 bhutas, which is Akasha, Vayu, Akasha, Vayu, Jala, Agni, and Prithvi, which we learned recently. So again, when we go to Akasha, it's all about space, right? It's all about space. It's creating more place for each organs. Yeah. As we know, mouth cavity, nostrils, thorax, abdomen, blood vessels, space between cells, channels. Huh? And when we see the quality of Akasha, it is subtle, light, clear, and expansive. And then when we see the excess Akasha, it may make emptiness, tissue depletion, loneliness, instability. When we go to Vayu, breathing, blinking, heartbeat, circulation, movement of food, speech, movement of thoughts, it all comes under Vayu. And what is quality of Vayu? Dry, light, cold, mobile, rough. When it comes to clinically, dryness, instability, movement become irregular, all these kinds are seen. So in that conditions, what we see, the symptoms are pain, tremor, cracking joints, constipation, anxiety and insomnia, right? So when we go to Agni Mahabhuta, what are the things which we see generally in Agni Mahabhuta? Agni is basically responsible for digestion, metabolism, body temperature, vision, complexion, intelligence. So quality, what are the qualities of Agni Mahabhuta? Can anybody remember? I will repeat again: hot, sharp, penetrating, subtle. Now clinically, when Agni increases, what happens? Burning, acidity, ulcers, redness, excessive hunger. So again, next one is Jala Mahabhuta, where it is generally providing lubrication, smoothness, softness and cohesion, and it's present in plasma, saliva, lymph, sweat, synovial fluid. And what are the qualities? Cool, smooth, soft, oily, flowing. And when Jala decreases, dehydration, dryness, roughness occurs. And when Jala is increased in the body, swelling, edema, congestion, all these things are seen. When we comes to Prithvi, Prithvi gives structure, stability, density, firmness, which means bone, muscles, teeth, nails, cartilages. Bone, muscle, teeth, nails, cartilages. And what is the quality? Heavy, dense, hard, subtle and slow. When earth increases in a body, as we discussed, obesity is seen, heaviness is seen, sluggish is seen, and when earth is decreased, weakness, instability and tissue depletion is seen. Now we also have to understand the relationship between Shadrasa. Now let us connect Pancha Mahabhuta with Shadrasas, the six taste: Madhura, Amla, Lavana, Kadu, Tikta and Kashaya, which you might have already known about it, or maybe you will learn in the coming sessions. I will repeat: six taste: Madhura, Amla, Lavana, Kadu, Tikta and Kashaya. So every taste is formed from combination of Mahabhutas. Madhura, which means sweet, it is linked to earth and water. Sweet nourishes, build tissues and increases strength. Amla, sour quality, sour taste, which is linked to earth and fire. Sour stimulates digestion and salivation. Lavana, salt, water and fire. Salt increases moisture and heat. Next is Katu, pungent. Fire and air. Pungent increase heat and movement. Tikta, bitter, air and space. Bitter reduces heaviness and dryness, dries tissues. Last one is Kashaya, which is air and earth. And astringent absorbs. Astringent is the taste of Kashaya. Astringent taste means it's not sour. It's like bitter kind of bitter sweetened taste. Astringent absorbs moisture and creates dryness. So let's recap again. We have 6 tastes: Madura, Amla, Lavana, Katu, Tikta and Kashaya. Madura is sweet, which is linked to earth and water. Madura, sweet is linked to earth and water. Sweet nourishes and builds tissues and increases strength. Amla, sour, which is linked to earth and fire. And sour stimulates digestion and salivation. Lavana, which is salt, which is linked to water and fire, increases moisture and heat. Katu, which is pungent, which is linked to fire and air. Pungent increases heat and movement. And Tikta, bitter, which is linked to air and space. And bitter reduces heaviness and dries tissues. Kashaya, astringent taste, which is linked to air and earth. Astringent absorbs moisture and create dryness. Now think practically. Why do sweet increase weight? Because they contain earth and water. And why do spicy food increases heat? Because they contains fire. I'll repeat it again. Why do sweet increases weight? Sweet. Yes, sweet is linked to earth and water. Earth is solid, water is also firm object. So when this is combined, there is a object built. Like let's imagine clay. When clay is mixed with water, there is a final product which is from clay, which is firm and heavy object. Because of earth and water, sweetness can increase body weight in your body. And why do spicy food increase for heat? Because spicy food contains fire element. So when fire is there, you feel all heat. That's what we feel when we have a good spicy biryani or some kind of spicy curries, typical Indian spicy curries. You get heat experienced in your body. And why do bitter medicines reduce kapha? This you might have heard with previous sessions and all. Why do bitter medicines help to reduce kapha? Because bitter is linked to air and space. And when air and space is in your body, it's linked to your bitter taste food, it will help to reduce kapha. So that's the relationship between Shatrasha and Pancha Mahabhuta. And next we have to understand the relationship between three doshas. Three doshas are basically Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Everybody knows about it. Everybody have heard about it very often, which we will explore in coming sessions also, which will be continuation of this session. I'll be giving more ideas on that also. So three doshas are also formed from Mahabhutas. Three doshas are Vata, Pitta and Kapha. And what is Vata linked to? Just imagine, we learned Akasha, Vayu, Jala, Agni and Prithvi. In that, what is more suiting, what is more staying close to Vata? Of course, Akasha and Vayu is staying close to Vata. Therefore, Vata shows dryness, movement, lightness, and Pitta. When it comes to Pitta, which may be linked, we learnt about, again I will recap, Akasha, space, Vayu, air, Jala, water, Agni, fire, Prithvi, earth, right? So in this, what may be possibly more suitable for Pitta. We all know basic qualities of Pitta, right? It is strong, intense, and very stable. In five Mahabhutas, which will be the more stable? Agni and Jala, right? Agni and Jala is more stable in this five Mahabhutas. Therefore, Pitta shows heat, sharpness, transformations. And finally, when it comes to Kapha, which is more relatable in this context. As we know, Kapha is having quality of dull, slow, and more structured, stable. Yeah, this all points fingers to Jala and Prithvi. Therefore, Kapha shows heaviness, stability, and lubrication. Thus, all doshas originate from Pancha Mahabhuta. And now we have seen relationship between six taste and three doshas, and there is relationship between Shad Ritus also. You know which are the Ritus? There are 6 seasons in available. I hope you might have gone through with this session of 6 Ritus. So 6 Ritus are basically Hemanta, Varsha, Sharat, Shishira, Grishma, Hemanta, Varsha, Sharat, Shishira, Grishma, and so Hemanta, Vasanta, Varsha, Grishma, Sharat, and Varsha. In this, summer has more fire element. Summer means Vasanta. And rainy season has more water and air. Winter is Shishira. Has more earth and water. Rainy season is Varsha Ritu, where we have water and air. Therefore, doshas changes according to season. This is why Ayurveda emphasizes Ritucharya. Seasonal lifestyle regulations. When season changes, the balance of Mahabhuta inside the body also changes. Pancha Mahabhuta is not just philosophy, it's a foundation of understanding body, food, disease, medicine, dosha, season, taste, therapy. When you observe patients also, which element is dominant, which quality is increasing, which dosha is affecting, this is Ayurvedic observation. So today we had gone through 5 elements. I'm repeating it because it is very important topic. That's why I'm repeating it again and again. So first of all, we learned about basics of Pancha Mahabhuta, right? In that the importance of Pancha Mahabhuta, we learned 5 Mahabhutas each. We discussed one after another. Then we went through the relationship between taste and 6 taste and Pancha Mahabhuta. Then we went with relationship between Ritu and Pancha Mahabhuta. Then we went to relationship between Tridosha and Pancha Mahabhuta. So what did you observe? So every factors, when we discuss in each factors, we always see it is linked to either of the Mahabhutas. When it comes to Vata dosha, it is linked to Akasha and Vayu. So in the, let's see, let everything, every season, everything is related to one or another. So it is very important to understand why we have to learn these things when it comes to massage. So before in your field of Parijaraka, you are going to see a lot of patients of different type of body. One may be very obese body, one may be very thin and very dry body, one may be very sweaty and heat body and very firm body. So if every time when you see each body, you have to understand what kind of bhuta they are carrying. So what kind of element they may be carrying, what kind of emotional baggage they may be carrying, so how they may react to your body. So this is something you can observe without even instruction from the doctor or somebody who might have instructed you. So when a patient comes to you, you can actually assess them with all these kind of questions. So that's why before we understand disease and before we understand treatment, before we understand oils, before we understand panchakarma, we must understand what exactly is body made up of. So as we know, I told it before also, I'll recap once again. Modern science explains body through cells, tissues, atoms and molecules, right? So Ayurveda explains body in a different way. Ayurveda says whatever in the universe, whatsoever you can see in this universe, every single factor is made up of human body, made up of Pancha Mahabhuta. Everything, whatever things you see in the body or in the universe, you can relate it to Pancha Mahabhuta. And this principle is called Loga Purusha Samya. You can recap it. I told it very fast in before, so that's why I'm telling it once again. It will be easy for you. So outer universe and inner body follow the same law. Outside what we see, sun, river, wind, mountain, space, right? Inside also we see the same factors. Sun is related to heat, river is related to fluid, and wind is related to movement, and mountains are related to structure, and the space is related to cavity. Aren't it all making any sense? Like this is all connected, this is all linked to one another, and isn't the beauty in this thing? So Ayurveda explains that everything in the universe is formed from 5 fundamental elements, which is Akasha, Vayu, Agni and Jala. And we gone through all these things, Akasha, Vayu, Jala, Prithvi, and we saw the interlink between each also. These 5 elements are present in food, medicine, body, mind, season, diseases. Even emotion can be understood through these elements. So when a patient comes to you, the patient may be very angry, or patient may be very fearful, or patient may be very emotionally attached to you, or emotionally attached to any kind of thing. So when there is anger, what do you see? Which Mahabhuta do you see in this condition? We discussed it before. When you see anger, definitely you see fire quality. When you see fear, what do you see? When we see fear, definitely it's air. And attachment. What is more attached to us when we see? Most attached things to us are water and earth, right? So Pancha Mahabhuta is not merely theory, it's the foundation of Ayurvedic thinking. And the 5 great fundamental elements that forms all matters in universe. So Pancha Mahabhuta. These are not exactly the same modern physical elements. When it comes to fire, when Ayurveda says fire, it does not mean there's a fire. So let's say my Agni is low. If a patient says, or if a doctor says, or if your colleague says, I think the patient's Agni is low, that doesn't mean there is a little fire going inside their stomach. There is no visible fire happening. So this one you can actually correlate to the qualities of fire. So when we go to qualities of fire, what are the qualities of fire? It is intense. It is intense, it is sharp and stable and heat. It can make dryness, it can cook things. So basically whatever is penetrating or subtle or like sharp or hot, you can relate to fire, Agni. So if you see a patient with depression or like too much of thoughts or sadness or sorrow, which may be the factor which will be related to this? Definitely Vayu, because when we see Vayu, we see more like a pain, depression, sleep deprivation, stress, irregular food habit, stress, all these kind of things. What among the five Mahabhuta, which one you feel which is the best or which is more important? I just started with Akasha and I told it is one of the major thing, and I kept on saying each for each. Even when it comes to Vayu, I told okay, Vayu is also very important. Agni is also very important. Prithvi is also very important. Jala is also very important. So among all these five, which one you feel which is more important? Yeah, definitely. All five elements are important, and all five works hand to hand to control this cosmic universe. So this is something which you have to which you cannot be read on the books or something or some kind of things. You cannot actually Google and find it out. This is something you understand. Okay, when you see a flower, you can relate. Okay, with the basic knowledge of Pancha Mahabhuta, now you see flower in a different way. Now you will see the stem part. Inside there, fluids are there. Some kind of cells are there. There's a flower going on, and there is space between each petals. See, when you see, let's say some other things. Let's say, for example, a plant or a vegetable, watermelon, for example. What do you see in watermelon? Outer layer is completely Prithvi, and there is little bit. When you go inside, you will see mild fluid starting inside. So fluid space is there, which is Jala Mahabhuta. And then when you go inside, there are space between each seeds. So you see space, and where there is space, there is definitely Vayu also, and where you can find Agni. It helps in digestion, because that's what the food do. When a food is administered to your body, it goes to your stomach and start the process of digestion. And when it is a part of digestion, it also helps to make fire also. For example, you can make fire, but you need something to make fire, right? For example, you need some kind of wood, log, or some kind of thing. Again, the fire will not be there. It's things which adjoins and makes fire. Simple piece of log or wood piece or like whatever briquettes, it will not make fire. So there has to be some kind of contact between energies, two state of energies. Strong rock, two rocks are rubbed together, spark comes, and that spark has to be transformed, otherwise it will melt in the akasha. Is it too complicated? Yeah. So take it like this. Two stones are there. If you take two stones, you rub, you get spark. But spark is not fire. It is melting in the akasha. So then what you need to make fire? You need some kind of factors like cotton or some kind of light, easily fire catchable materials. Then fire occurs. So now you go back to watermelon and see what can actually make fire. I didn't mean if you burn watermelon, there is fire. I meant when the watermelon goes to your stomach, it can enhance Agni in your body and make digestion process easy. Okay? Circling back to each rasas, Madhura, Amla, Lavana, Kadu, Tikta and Kashaya. Every taste is formed from this combination, right? Every taste is formed from this 5 combination. You remember, Madhura is sweet. Sweet is earth and water. Amla is sour from earth and fire. And Lavana is salt and is from water and fire. Katu is pungent and which is from fire and air. And Tikta is bitter and which is from air and space. Kashaya astringent which is from air and earth. Simple. So going back to Tridosha, Vada, Pitta and Kapha. So Vata, what is Vata linked to? Akasha and Vaya. And what is Pitta linked to? Agni and Jala. And what is Kapha linked to? Jala and Prithvi. Okay. You make a circle. You draw, write Vata, Pitta and Kapha. And you do one thing, you write Akasha, Vayu, Jala, Agni, Prithvi. Then you join these things there and you see you can join Jala and Prithvi in Kapha, and you can join Agni and Jala in Pitta, you can join Akasha and Vayu in Vata. You see that circle completes with each. So that's how we can relate with doshas. And doshas are very important to know, and I'll be talking more about doshas in continuation. What is dosha basically? So I'll give an introduction to dosha. So you've seen Vata, Pitta and Kapha type of people. You can relate to Vata because we discussed basic qualities of Vata, which is dryness, lean and small, sudden, more like reactive. Pitta is intense, heat, so and so. So when it comes to Kapha, it is slow like earth. It is like water, very calm, very easy. So when you can correlate with your workplace, there is imagine there is a company, and you can see managers, CEOs, and workers under that hierarchy, and there is peon staff. And there are some people and different varieties of people, different varieties of mindset of people. So let's say starting with Vata. So this category of people, when you see in the office, you can or in your friend circle or in your family, you can basically see Vata as they will be very lean, dry, and most important factor is they don't stick to one thing. So I had a Vada friend, I still have him. So he used to be a good dancer when he was with me in college, and when I saw him recently, now he is studying violin. And in his schools before the college, what he used to do is he used to sing classical songs, classical instrumental music and all. So only common factor which is sticking with him is like Vada people tends to have more creative area to explore, and more like a athletic area to explore. And he also does martial arts, he also does sports, he also plays all kind of games. And only problem with his, he is not stable, he will not stay in one place. So he's like a multiple person clone. He can see in one place, and after some time he will be seeing in some other places. So this is basically a Vada person will look like, basically, to understand. It may not be same for if it is if there is a predominance combination in between person to person. And then there is a dosha called Pitta. So Pitta is very interesting, and I like Pitta, one of the best dosha as per my mindset, because it is said Kapha is the Uttama dosha as per Ayurveda, but I think Pitta is one of the best. Why? Pitta is very strong, very stable, and very determined, and a basic OCD kind of characteristic. So they are very perfectionist. They want things to be perfect. They want things to happen properly, on time, on this particular occasion. It has to be done. So let's say if you had a fight with Vada person, you don't have to worry about it, because the person will not remember the thing. But when it comes to Pitta, you should be very careful, because the person who is having Pitta dominance, this is the worst part starts of Pitta. They are very spontaneous. They are very angry people, because of the heat they are carrying. They get triggered on small things. They get easily triggered. They remember things. I don't know whether you had this experience, but I had this experience with one of my friend in my past. So when we fight, this fight means when we get to an argument or something, this person will say, okay, so on this date, January 2002, evening 4 o'clock, around 4:30 or something, you told me this particular word, and I am a man of Kapha. I don't know what is happening. I forgot instantly. I don't keep things. And when it comes to Vata person is like, basically they get to argument very easily, but they forget about it. They don't keep it. They don't carry it. And when it comes to Kapha, it's very interesting. Kapha people generally, they are very lazy. Even for fighting also, they don't want to lose their energy. They will keep it to themselves. They will be very calm, very cold, very subtle. So it is fun to see these kind of people in your life. So that's basically the characteristic of each doshas. But when we go further, we will be diving more into each doshas, each Vata, Pitta, Kapha in detail. Vata, what are the characteristics of Vata, and how we can manage Vata in the body, how we can manage Pitta in the body, how we can manage Kapha in the body, how to improvise things based on patients, how to improvise assessment with patients based on Pancha Mahabhuta and doshas. Also, we will be studying more about the correlation of Pancha Mahabhuta and doshas, which is very important for your future understanding about Pancha Mahabhuta. And also, after this session, I'll be having more informations about this five elements and Tridosha. So if you have any kind of doubts regarding Pancha Mahabhuta, I can go back and send you the text which I have prepared for the classes. And that's all with the session with Pancha Mahabhuta. And we will be moving to next one, which is Tridosha, which I gave basic understanding about doshas, Vata, Pitta and Kapha, and this we will be understanding soon.